All right, of course, this is Walter's World, and we're talking about Steve Bannon and the subpoena of John Brennan and Adam Schiff. I believe both of them should be subpoenaed for sure. This is his take on it. It's Fox News.
Best 2 weeks. I mean, if you look at USMCA, if you look at the Israeli deal, if you look at Ivanka's human trafficking, the counterfeit, Brexit, the pandemic, the bold moves he makes on pandemic. He said in his inauguration address, now comes the hour of action. You've seen he's focused on action, action, action. Well, they've had the nullification project for 2 years, but the nullification project's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop.
They don't. Well, here's why. They don't have the personalities. They don't have big personalities, and they don't have policies. The policies are so far left.
So they have to do it on the down low right now.
It's the total destruction of Donald Trump. That's what their focus is.
That's all they have.
If we don't think they're going to subpoena, they're going to come back with subpoenas on Bolton. They're going to come back with subpoenas, and this is why I've argued for a long trial in the impeachment, or now get Lindsey Graham. We need to get all this on the table.
Well,
right?
that's what Lindsey Graham says. Lindsey Graham says he's going to bring the whistleblower in. We could have the second whistleblower come in. Adam Schiff could maybe have to testify. And he's already clearing house with Vindman, and he's recalling Sondland, the EU ambassador.
First off, he needs to clear house. We talked about this in 2017. He needs to get people that support his policies in there to execute this. He deserves that. But I think what President Trump's been saying is not just about him, about future presidents. If one day AOC is the president, she is commander-in-chief.
What did you just say?
Well, no,
it's very hard for me to even wrap my head around that analogy.
What I'm trying to say is President Trump is sitting there saying it's not about him. It's about the office of the president.
Right.
We need to vet this. And I think the Senate Judiciary is a place to start. And you bring one of your guests tonight. You bring Rudy Giuliani. Let him have 2 days on national TV in a formal setting and let him be crossed. Let him put all the information he has up there.
Well, not only that, you get Where's Hunter? Because right now, and we're going to talk to Rudy about this in a little bit, they're going to actually subpoena some records from the Treasury to see if there was any financial irregularities going on with Hunter, with Burisma, and the Obama administration. You called this CPAC 2017. You said this is what it was going to be like. Let's listen.
Here's why it's going to get worse. Because he's going to continue to press his agenda. And as economic conditions get better, as more jobs get better, they're going to continue to fight. If you think they're going to give you your country back without a fight, you are sadly mistaken. Every day it is going to be a fight.
So that was a couple of years ago. Did you think it was going to be this ugly?
I thought it was going to be this ugly.
You thought you'd see impeachment and leaks and special
When
counsels?
I went around in 18 with the film Trump at War, I said if we lose the House of Representatives, she's promised people she's going to impeach
That's
him.
what it was.
They don't have another alternative. They don't have There's nobody on that stage going to beat Donald Trump. There's no set of policies that people galvanize around is going to beat Donald Trump. His economic program is working. His America First national security policy is working. And Trump triggers them. I did Bill Maher last night. You go in that crowd, just the concept of Donald Trump and the deplorables triggers these people.
Yeah,
so
they were throwing tomatoes at you. Let's listen to a little of Steve versus Bill Maher. Roll that.
We mostly lose because a senator in Wyoming represents 290,000 people, and a senator here represents 20 million. That's mostly why we lose. The Electoral College.
No, it's called a republic, sir.
It's called a republic with the...
What I love about you guys, you've got to whine about everything. Hey, it's match play, not medal play.
No,
win it, match play.
I understand what the rules are.
Show me you could win. No, you know what the rules are, and you can't win.
You're right. It's his best week ever. That's what I said. Okay, I wish we had someone on our side as evil as you, Steve. It's great to see you. Thank you for doing.
You looked a little depressed there.
Because look at Trump's actions. They don't know what to do next, but I got to tell you, these people are going to continue to subpoena. That's why I think Lindsey Graham in the Senate, we've got to vet this. Let's get it all out there. Because let's get the whistleblower.
They've got to bring some of this to court. The judicial has to charge and challenge these people and legally go after them and stop this. Because if it doesn't, the office of the president on the opposing party is done. They're going to do this again, and they're going to destroy the most important part of our democracy, which is the presidency. You got a Congress, you got a Senate, you got a Supreme Court, but you also have to have the administrative powers of a presidency, not to defend the Constitution and protect the nation and the people, but to administer it. If you destroy that and you give that power to Congress or Senate, the balance is going to be gone, and we're going to be in serious trouble. That's what we're facing.
The second whistleblower. Let's get Brennan up there. Let's get Adam Schiff as a fact
Brennan
witness.
Up there?
Let's get Brennan. Let's get Adam Schiff as a fact witness. Let's get everybody up there, Jesse.
Do you think the Senate Republicans have what it takes for that kind of scorched earth investigation?
I think they owe it. Here's what the Republicans in the Senate, they owe it to this country. This is like the Church Commission. Remember, the excesses of the CIA and the FBI in the 50s and 60s led to the Church Commission after Watergate in the 70s. That's what we need. Lindsey Graham's judiciary has to start it.
Well, you got Durham, too, on the other side.
But Durham,
you have a lot of expectation for Durham or not?
That's a criminal proceeding with a grand jury. However that proceeds, it proceeds. This is something actually more important. This is before the nation to see the abuses again.
This is before the nation to see the abuses. Again, he's trying to educate the American people on their rights and their responsibilities, get them off their butts and get them going, and understand what is really going on. We're fighting for the survival of the presidency of the United States and our democracy as it currently stands, because these people do not obey the law. They do not uphold the Supreme Court. They do not support the different offices of the government, especially the presidency. They like the Supreme Court when it's on their side, and they like the Senate or Congress when they're on the side. But these people really are not pro-America. They're not pro-Constitution, and they're not pro our freedoms and rights. And the people have to get up and not only vote, but get involved, put pressure on these people. But we also need an administrator like Trump to actually legally go after them in the DOJ and subpoenas with legal trials, get this stuff out and bring it forward and have it done legally to stop this foolishness. I don't know if we're not united enough to make another amendment, but basically the Constitution needs to be supported so it's not destroyed. And they are, make no doubt about it, they are trying, as was done earlier that he said, the 50s and 60s, this church commission has tried the same crap and tried to destroy our nation. I didn't know about it, I was too young. But here, 60, 70 years later, we're doing the same thing. It is crazy.
Against Donald Trump so that we can sit there and what Trump says, it's not about him. This should never happen to another president. Right. And what President Trump has said is very important. He's trying to protect the office of the president.
Right. It's about executive power. All right. We talked about this before we came on the air, China and this pandemic, this virus that's going out there, corona. How big of a threat is this right now? It looks like at this point it's deadlier than the SARS virus. How do you see it?
Well, listen, I think coming to America, President Trump has taken bold and smart action, okay? A couple of weeks ago, he's got this task force. They got the right people on it. He's taken smart measures.
If this thing blows up, is he going to pay a price for not acting fast enough?
I think he's acted fast enough.
Do you think he needs a full travel ban yet or no?
Well, listen, I think he's acted fast enough now. Here's the problem, I think, is in China. In China, this is a biblical scale. It's not that the CCP, who I'm very anti, will lie to you. I don't think they have their hands around it.
They don't even know what's going on.
This is if you want to see what's going on, watch the movie Chernobyl, the 5 episodes. This is a biological Chernobyl. I don't think they have their hands around it.
A biological Chernobyl. This is a man-made virus that's created, and it is going to be, I'm sorry to say, but probably one of the worst things we've seen in our times, which is a warning on what we create and what we let get out. This is biological warfare. Now it's been released on the public, the media, the major masses in China, and who knows how far it's going to go around the world.
Because right now, none of the personnel, I think 3 things have to happen. Number 1, the firewall has to come down on the internet. So the Chinese people had full access to Western information.
That's not going to happen.
Well, number 1, I think it has to happen. Number 2, President Trump has offered 3 times the CDC and others, real virus killers, virus hunters to go there. I think the Chinese Communist Party has to accept WHO and CDC members to go. And
virus hunters?
Yeah, the Dr. Leung in Hong Kong. These are guys that know how to track down these viruses. Wow. Number 3, I think medical personnel. You see the collapse of the public health system in Wuhan. Remember, this is a city the size of New York. And right now, it's totally under quarantine. They're going door to door and see who has this.
See, that's
disease.
the only thing I think that can really slow things down is this virus. But like we said, can Bernie slow down Donald Trump? Can Bloomberg do it?
Well, listen,
are you handicapping this thing?
Look,
what do you think?
Look, here's the bottom line. After the Democratic Party said the president's a clear and present danger because of Russian oligarchs, the Democratic Party now has to rely upon an American oligarch. It's outrageous.
You call him an oligarch?
He's an oligarch.
Why do you call him that?
Because he's an oligarch. He's made this money over the last couple of years. He's got $70 billion, and he's prepared.
He didn't steal it, though, did he?
No, he made it. But what he's prepared to do is saying, even if he's not the Democratic nominee, he will put $2 billion because of a personal vendetta against Donald Trump to defeat Donald Trump.
That's a lot of cash.
Listen, Bernie, look, I like Bernie a lot. Bernie's is not going to make it, okay? And I keep telling Bernie supporters, they are totally disrespected and discounted by the Democratic Party. They got cheated out of Iowa, out of the poll.
Do you think that was funny business in Iowa, or do you think they're just incompetent?
I'm not a conspiracy theory guy, but there are no coincidences. How does the poll not get released where he's up 4, which is always a bounce, and then as soon they don't do the thing right the first night, and then they got to recanvass. They said some little producer guy, when he resized the poll, he resized it too big and it cut Buttigieg's name off the bottom. There are no coincidences.
That's what he said.
Hold it. And it's so
This is such foolishness. There are no coincidences. He says this. Q says this too, all the time. A lot of this stuff is deliberate. Wake up, America. Wake up.
Hold it. As soon as Bernie gets in the lead, they want to recanvass. The Bernie voters are not respected by the Democratic Party. They ought to give Trump a listen. Trump respects the Bernie voters. And listen, these guys didn't turn out for Hillary Clinton in 2016. They ought to turn out for Donald Trump in 2020 because Bernie's not going to be the nominee. Here's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's coming in. Bloomberg's coming in with all that capital. He's going to let off a thermonuclear capital weapon on Super Tuesday. It's going to shatter this field. And that's when Hillary Clinton, I think, is going to come back out of the bullpen and run with Bloomberg's money, with Dolly's Frazier. And if they
ride in on Bloomberg's briefcase full of cash,
if they think that Hillary Clinton's going to beat Donald Trump,
they just saying that.
I love Dolly Frazier too. But here's the thing:
because doesn't Bloomberg need a box? I think the president says he's too short to be on the debate stage. Let's listen to that.
I would love to run against Bloomberg. I would love it. Now he wants a box for the debates to stand on. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You could be short. Why should he get a box to stand on, okay? He wants a box for the debates.
I mean, why should he get a box?
The best ever.
I mean, did he just make that up, or do you know something?
No, I'm sure the president knows something the other people don't know, and he's going to force it. Hey, everybody's got to stand on the platform, right? You don't get a box.
All right.
Trump is smart. Trump is smart. He's charismatic. He's powerful. He's a planner at more levels than we can think. He's been working on this economic situation at least 6 years before he got into the presidency. Been working with the military at least 4 years before he got into the presidency. And so you add the 4 to that. We've got 10 years that he's been working on this economics. We've got and 8 years that he's been working with the military and other things. He's been working smart and hard. He is a planner. He is a masterminder, and he goes deep. And he's a New Yorker that doesn't take no for an answer. We'll never see a president again like him. I pray that he's preserved the next 4 years, gets done what he needs to do, and it carries on, because these battles are not going to cease even after Trump leaves. And we need to wrap our hearts and minds around this and go for the long run, because it's going to get bloody, emotionally, physically, military-wise, before the second coming. And we're just beginning to see the beginning of all this. And this is worldwide. These battles are going on worldwide. You've never seen a world in more commotion than it is today. It's Roger Mark from Billings, Montana. God be with us, and may we end up being totally victorious through Jesus Christ. Amen.